The starship Horizon's Edge drifted through the dark like a slow comet, its metallic hull reflecting the faint glow of distant suns. I stood alone on the observation deck, staring at the shimmering blue nebula that painted streaks across the void. We were only minutes away from the final drop-off, the diplomatic return of Princess Alira of the Valdren species, the aliens who had once been enemies but were now tentative allies. Alira stood beside me, silent as usual, her silver eyes tracing the same nebula. Her skin shimmered faintly, scales that looked more like art than biology. Most humans found her species intimidating, but I never had. Perhaps because somehow, throughout the mission, she had stopped acting like a diplomat and started acting like something else. This assignment was supposed to be simple. Transport the alien princess back home after peace negotiations on Earth. But what none of us expected was how quickly she adapted to humans or how quickly she grew attached to me. "Commander Isaac," she said softly, her voice melodic, almost vibrating through the air like a hum. "You are unusually quiet today." "It's our last night aboard," I said. "Tomorrow you're home." She lowered her head slightly. "Yes." Her tone carried an emotion I had rarely heard from her. Disappointment. For months, I had taught her Earth customs, handshakes, simple jokes, casual greetings, the strange human habit of smiling, and even sarcasm, which she still struggled with. But over the past weeks, she began asking things beyond cultural lessons. Why do humans fear being alone? Why do humans feel the need to comfort each other? Why do humans place meaning in simple touches? She had begun changing around me. And now, our mission was ending. Tomorrow, she'd walk off the ship and I would return to Earth, and our strange partnership, friendship, even, would dissolve into memory. When we arrive, I said, "Your people will be relieved. They've been waiting for you." "Yes," she whispered, though she didn't sound convinced. Silence returned, heavy, but not uncomfortable. I should have left. I had reports to finish, preparations to complete. But I couldn't bring myself to step away. Neither could she. That was the beginning of the ache that settled between us. Something unsaid. Something inevitable. Middle. The last night that changed everything. I didn't sleep that night. I wandered the ship, restless. My footsteps echoed faintly on the metal floor as I walked through unlit corridors. Eventually, I found myself standing in front of the training room, an empty, quiet space with floor mats and mirrored walls. The door slid open behind me. "Commander Isaac." I turned. Alira stood in the doorway, wearing her lightweight diplomatic uniform, luminescent patterns glowing faintly across the fabric. "What are you doing up?" I asked. "I could ask you the same," she replied. "Humans require sleep, and Valdren don't. Not when their thoughts are crowded." I swallowed. Crowded with what? With things I do not know how to express in your language. She stepped toward me, her movements fluid, almost floating. The dim lights cast shadows along her scaled skin, making her look ethereal and unreal. "What are you feeling?" I asked gently. She studied me intently. "You humans use phrases to describe what sits inside your chest. Feelings. Emotions." Her eyes glowed softly. "I have learned many, but none seem correct." "Tell me anyway." She hesitated, something she rarely did. "Tomorrow, I will depart, and yet I do not wish to." I froze. "Alira." "And you," she continued, her voice tightening, "are trying to accept this separation as if it is normal. As if you have not altered my understanding of your species, or of myself." Her words struck me, with a force I wasn't ready for. She stepped closer. "Commander Isaac." "Isaac, humans say goodbye. But I do not know how to do this. Not with you." The heaviness in the room pressed into my chest. I wasn't supposed to get attached. She wasn't supposed to learn what attachment felt like. But here we were. I exhaled slowly. I don't want to say goodbye either. The way her pupils widened. It wasn't just surprise. It was relief. She moved beside me, sitting on the training mat, legs folded beneath her. "Teach me," she whispered. "Teach me how humans say goodbye." "We don't always say it well." I chuckled weakly. "Then teach me your way." I sat beside her. The silence between us wasn't awkward. It was filled with everything we hadn't said over the past months. Sometimes, I began, humans say goodbye with words. Sometimes with a handshake or a hug. "A hug," she repeated. "You taught me this. But I do not understand why humans cling to one another." "To feel close," I said, "even when they can't stay." She nodded slowly. "Then show me." So I did. I opened my arms gently, uncertain. She leaned forward with cautious curiosity. Her body was warm, not cold like some imagined Valdren to be, and she rested against me as if she had been waiting for this moment. Her scent was strange, like faint ozone after rainfall, soothing in an unexpected way. "This is comforting," she murmured against my shoulder. "Yeah," I whispered. "It is." She remained like that for a long time, her breath deepening in a way that reminded me how close she'd grown to humanity. When she finally pulled away, she kept her face just inches from mine. Her silver eyes reflected the dim lights. "Is there another way?" she asked softly. "There are lots of ways." "Show me one more," she whispered. My heart beat sharply in my chest. "There's a kiss," I said. "A kiss." She tilted her head. "You taught me the word, but not the meaning." "It's personal," I said. "Intimate." "I wish to understand," she murmured. I swallowed. "It's not something I should do with you." "Why?" "Because you're a princess," I said. "Because our worlds just made peace. Because humans and Valdren aren't supposed to." She placed her hand on my chest, just over my heart. "Teach me," she repeated. I hesitated, every rational thought screaming to stop. But her eyes, curious, vulnerable, longing, pulled me toward her. I leaned slightly closer. She held her breath. "Like this," I whispered. Her scaled fingers glided to my cheek. Then she asked quietly, "Is this how humans say goodbye?" Before I could answer, she leaned forward and kissed me. It wasn't clumsy. It wasn't hesitant. It was a soft, warm, lingering touch that sent a jolt down my spine. Her lips felt different, smooth, cool, almost electric, but gentle in a way I never expected. When she finally pulled back, her eyes trembled with unspoken emotion. "That," she whispered, "was not what I expected." "Yeah," I breathed. "Me neither." We sat there, caught in the moment, caught in each other. Then the intercom buzzed sharply, shattering the silence. "Commander Isaac, we're approaching Valdren territory. Prepare for landing." Her expression darkened. She stood slowly, looking at me as though she was memorizing my face. "It is time," she whispered. And that was the moment I realized this wasn't just a mission to her. It wasn't just a mission to me either. Ending. Goodbyes that weren't goodbye. The landing bay was filled with glowing soldiers, banners of the Valdren Empire, and emissaries waiting eagerly for their princess. They stood in perfect formation, disciplined and unyielding. Alira stepped forward in ceremonial posture, her emotions hidden behind a mask of royal duty. I stood beside her, trying to do the same, but our eyes kept meeting. Softly, secretly.